Welcome to another podcast. I'm Gene,
I'm Ebe.
and we want to just talk about mindset. We haven't done a sit-down podcast in a little while.
It's been a minute.
Doing the WOD testing, you know.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? We're doing that because it's fun.
It is fun. It's fun. I think
Do that
some
because
people
I
are
want you to
curious.
watch me work out.
Some people are probably curious about
Yeah.
how we feel and how we do things.
Yeah, it's just some strategy
Mm-hmm.
and approach to some of those things.
Yeah.
I mean, it started with Murph, and Murph, while it doesn't really necessarily need a lot of strategy, there's strategy to it.
Of course. I think every workout's got some type of strategy. You gotta know your strengths, you gotta know your weaknesses, and
Right.
and you gotta know how to move efficiently without resting a lot.
You gotta know
That's
when to
pretty
hold
much-
them. You gotta know when to fold them.
That's
You
right.
gotta know when to run. Who was that? Kenny Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, so mindset. I just want to talk about one, how you approach working out and training, right? What kind of let's say you're setting some goals, right? We recently had a group of people on Facebook setting goals and going after stuff, and some's been sticking, some fell off as expected. But what's your mindset going into setting you set some goals and you're gonna go crush them? How do you approach that?
Okay.
Just do it.
I mean, well, I think 90% of it's just getting it done, but just getting, again, it's habits. A lot of things that we've talked about before. So, working with trained basketball players, 2 months ago I was absolutely atrocious at dribbling, and I knew that my whole life. I caught the ball and I shot it.
Right.
That's all I did. So I knew I had to get better at that. Terrell showed me some things, and basically it just started off with what I know I need to get good at the minimum. Okay, was when we do a drill where you just sit up against the wall and you do 500 dribbles of 5 different things. You do 100 of each, and I just did that every day until I got it down to where I was bored doing it because I know I can do it.
Right.
Right. And then it was, all right, Terrell, I got this down. What's the next thing? Then he shows me the next step. And then it was 2 or 3 things of doing it behind the back or between the legs and then shooting it, right? And just getting comfortable with doing that going into my shot. So again, about a week or 2 of doing that every single day, putting in about 100, 200 reps of all that stuff, and making sure that, again, getting to a point where it's all right, I have it down. I can do it at any time, anywhere.
Right.
And that's just dribbling or technique, but you can use that with double unders or, any other one of these technical things. Brooke's been working on double unders and cleans and things like that.
Push-ups, yeah.
While she's doing it really well and why I can do it really well, this dribbling stuff now is because when we come in, that's the first thing we do. When I come into the gym, that's the first thing I do. And I still go back and do some of those other ones. I come back and I do it. I come in, I'm doing it. Same with her. She gets here about 10 minutes early. She works on the cleans. So that's the thing, is a lot of people won't make extra time too. I think that's another thing. You got to make enough time. So okay, in a class, if I want to get good at double unders, you can't just come in every day and hopefully we're doing double unders that day, and hopefully that you're gonna
you have to do it every day.
Yeah, you got to come in 5-10 minutes early. You got to work on that kind of stuff. That's more for technique stuff. But you started you changed in diet, right? Diet was one, and new business venture.
Yep.
So that's different from a skill thing. It's more putting in work and time. How does that work for you?
That's how very similar. I draw a lot of my inspiration for goals and stuff to the lessons I learned in martial arts, right? And I'm gonna diverge a little bit. I was watching you guys work with a few people. You were doing, I don't know what their drills. I don't know what they were doing, but Terrell was working with 4 or 5 people, and you were helping and stuff and watching. And I was amazed at how similar that was to working with people in martial arts, because it comes down to just doing the reps, just doing like you said, you did it until you were bored with it. Right? You know that that's how you get better at a skill. That's how you master something, is doing it over and over and over till you're bored, until when you get the next thing, you're thank God, something new, until you feel that way, right? That's how I approach that stuff. Like I know that the good stuff at the end is through all the little boring things.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that I have to do like a business venture. Like I just do something every day. Right. If I focus on like, okay, I'm going to start this thing, and it's got to make $10,000 a month. I'll never get there. It'll crush me, right? Mm-hmm. Because 1 month will go by, 2 months will go by, and I won't reach that goal, and I'll be like, fuck, I'm a failure, you know? Yeah. But if I just do one thing a day, even if it takes 5 minutes, it's just one thing, you know, just send one email. Well, that's one email sent. And the next day, it's like, make one page on the website. Well, that's one page done. You know what I mean? And it adds up, like you said, like definitely. If you do those reps every day, after a month, we've done 10,000 reps, you know? But if somebody said, you got to go to 10,000 reps, you probably wouldn't do it. You'd be like, that's dumb, because it's a lot of work, and I will die, right? But if you break it down, that's kind of how I approach it. But watching you guys work is very similar in that aspect, because, you know, martial arts comes, you can't just, from day one, come in and do that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't care what kind of athlete you are, you just can't come in and do it all. You've got to practice. You got to do it over and over and over and over. And the simple shit, just putting your feet in the right place. You know? Yeah. It was very much the same thing. He's like, look, you just got to do this, and here's how you do it. Now you just got to go do it 1,000 times. Yeah. Until it's muscle memory and like you don't have to think about it.
Yeah. No one's gonna be like, you're not gonna be like, all right, here's the kata. All right, you guys ready to try out for your belt? You gotta do that.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Right. You're gonna fuck it up. Mm-hmm. You don't know how to do it. You're not gonna.
And the beauty is like, it's earned.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? This is real. It's earned. I think we just, you know, people nowadays, I think they want the glory. They just want that end result. You know what I mean? And they can't see, you know, they're in the minutia right now and just piddling away doing one thing, and they just can't see it, you know?
Yeah, in CrossFit and basketball, and I'm sure it's the same with martial arts, is that like, and people say it all the time, but it's true, it's like the journey is the thing that you should enjoy. And that's where it's like you see people, the ones that are constantly getting PRs, the ones that are doing new things. Again, Brooke came in 2 months ago, and I'm going to talk a lot about her because she's been doing great at 530, but she came in, she still hadn't been able to do a push-up. Mm-hmm. She couldn't do a double under. She wasn't really comfortable with doing cleans, and so struggling on trying to get a good pull-up in.
Right.
But again, you know, what happened, you know, Heather came in and coached her and gave her some tips on how to do the push-up, and now she went from not doing any unassisted, she was doing 100 minutes, to yesterday was 10.
Yeah.
10 on her own.
That's
10
legit.
push-ups, legit push-ups,
yeah.
Without warming or anything like that. And again, same thing with her cleans. And now she's getting really comfortable with double unders. She can do. She's doing them in their double singles in every single workout now. And that's only a couple weeks. But why? Because you put in the time, and when you keep putting in the time and you be consistent with it, then you start to improve on those things. I think, again, yeah, it's what you're saying. A lot of people just like, well, I practiced it for a day. If I can't do it now, I just can't fucking do it. But that's like, anything.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get.
No.
You're not gonna get anything. No one is just like on it.
Yeah, you didn't just graduate high school one day. I mean, you spent 12 years working on all those details.
Yeah. Now, when you start, and if talking in fitness, you start getting comfortable with double unders, and you get comfortable with this, and get your kipping down, you get your cleans down, then yeah, when something else arises, it might be a lot quicker and easier because your body is used to adapting, and you understand things more, and
you can learn faster.
Yeah, you can learn faster, but you got to put in the time and effort, and especially when it comes to doing things with your body, that's coordination. That's, again, it's something that that's the point of double unders, and that's the point of doing basketball drills, and also even, doing katas and stuff. It's coordination. You got to understand your body and feel those things. Yep. And people just won't put in the time to try to work on those things if it's something that they really want to do. That's just, you have to be driven enough, and you have to just, I think the first things first is you have to start to fall in love with whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, you really do. And you kind of like, you will, that's the I think that's the big mystery. It's like, if I'm kicking that bag, I'm doing the same kick over and over, at some point, I will realize I'm starting to get really good at this one kick,
Yeah.
And I will love doing it because I'm good at it. And then I can show other people how to do it. And there's power in that, But if you just come in once and and like it didn't work out right, so I'm done. You know, one, that's a defeatist attitude, but two, that's not how you get to mastery. That Bruce Lee has a really good saying that I'm probably going to slaughter it, but he says, "I don't fear the man who's done 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who's done one kick 10,000 times." And I dig that. Like that's where it's at.
Definitely.
You know, there's a thing I mentioned it to you, Andy Frisella. I don't know if you like this guy. Like he's kind of obnoxious in his podcast. He like it's one of those podcasts where he's like yelling the whole time. Like even when he's talking like this, he's like yelling. So it's like definitely got to be in the mood to listen to that shit. But he has a program. He gives it away for free, and it's called 75 Hard. And I'm sort of kicking around doing it.
I'm in on it. You convinced me earlier.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So this thing is it's very simple. And he talks about it all the time. Again, it's free. This doesn't cost you anything. He doesn't sell it. He's just promoting his products. He's like a supplement company. But it's 75 Hard, and what it is that for 75 days in a row, you do whatever you're going to do, right? So if you say I'm going to work out for an hour every day. I'm going to follow this diet. It can be whatever workout program you're doing. You know, you just do it every day. It's a run a mile every day, whatever. You're going to do it every day for 75 days. Whatever diet you're going to follow, you're going to follow it to a T, 75 days. And then he also has, I don't know if it's 5 or 10 pages or whatever, but like 5 pages. You read 5 pages of a book every day. Then you go for 75 days. And if you fall off one day, you start off at day 1. You restart. Even if you're at day 74, you start back off at day 1. And it sounds intriguing. Like, it seems super simple, but I bet it's really hard.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I think what makes it hard, well, one, I guarantee if we say we're doing this and some people want to do it, they're going to be like, well, what about on weekends?
Yes, on weekends.
Yeah.
What about on vacation? Yes, on vacation.
Yeah.
What if I'm sick? Yes, if you're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like that's the thing is you have to accept like, all right, well,
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
What if I get really sad and depressed? Yes, you're fucking doing it.
Yeah. What if you get hurt? You're still gonna work
Still do
out.
it.
You can still
you break your leg. You put your leg in a thing and you just sit there and do whatever.
Yeah. I fucked up my ankle. I was still doing push-ups at home and shit. So you can still do stuff.
You can do it.
Yeah. Anyone can do stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that's like the hard part is like, oh, but you know, Thanksgiving or Halloween and blah blah blah
right.
and this and that. And I think it's going to be honestly more so. I think we'll find people that are more so. It's just the diet thing.
Yeah, that's the hardest part.
And that's why you can choose something simple. For me, I think what I'm going to do is I want to eat this many calories. And I'm just going to stick to calories, and I'm going to get the.
You make a plan.
Yeah.
And you don't alter the plan for 75 days.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we've done this for years. I mean, I don't know that I can honestly say I've done that. Like, I mean, I've had success. I've done stuff, but like, have I made a plan and stuck with it for, you know, whatever set time that, like, to a T? Like, I think I've done that once in my life, you know?
Yeah.
It's really hard. And I think the battle isn't the diet. I mean, that'll be the hardest part. I don't think the battle's the working out, reading the book. Yeah, then one of the things, you take a picture of yourself every day, like progress every day. Whatever it is, physique or face or whatever. I don't think it's that. I think the battle will be with your mind, you know? Because you'll get to day 20 and you'll be like, I'm going to try this diet now, or I'm going to change something, you know?
Yeah. I find people, it's usually the early on, if you get through like, you know, 30 days, it's pretty easy to just kind of keep going.
Yeah, after 30 days, yeah.
Because
you built a lot of momentum.
I'll say it was like 21 or 20, I don't know. It was the first paleo challenge I did. We did 90 days.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And it was strict paleo the whole time. And it wasn't like an option, but I worked out every single day because I worked there at the gym and I, you know, whatever. So we did that every single day. And that's when I saw my most success. Because that was, I think the big thing too, especially most of us are adults and stuff, but it was just drinking.
Debatable.
It was the alcohol. And I've told this story before, but I went to a Halloween party and I drank water. I went to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And, you know, that I brought my own food in a bag.
Yeah. And everybody's like, you're a weirdo, but you're like, I don't care.
I'm like, I don't give a shit. Do it. That's when I was 225 and skinny. That's when I first started CrossFit, and I got down to 165.
Whew.
in 90 days. And I was eating all the time.
Right.
I wasn't
eating the right
that
shit.
time. I wasn't counting calories. I was just paleo. You know,
Right.
simple enough. But again, it's about longevity. That's a really hard thing, I think, when we're trying to get into, well, I want to eat a certain way or do something a certain way, is trying to do that for a long period of time. And it definitely helps a lot more too if you're not taking those, you know, like Friday, Saturday off. Or Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
And that was the thing during those times. I'm not doing that. So you think about that too. That's, I mean, how many weeks is it? It's 12 weeks, basically 2 days, right? Where not, that's 24 days out of that 90 days where I'm eating bad. But you take that out, think about how much weight loss you're gonna have.
Even more.
Yeah.
Or whatever you're doing.
But you have to have a really strong mindset to want to do
You
that.
do, and I think that's probably the biggest, like, of that program, and that's what he talks about, that battle and how many people can't do it, and how I think I can't get it right, but he did it like, it's like 300 days or something. He did the program because he kept like messing up and having to start over, and he finally completed 75 days after like 300 something days, because he'd get pretty far in and then he'd be like, shit, I forgot to do this part, or he just lost commitment or focus or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But when he talks about the gains you get from it, the gain is all mental. Like you learn this ability to be able to be consistent and to commit to whatever you said you commit to. That's really the hardest part. Most of us, I think,
Definitely.
face. I want to shift gears a little bit. That's one way to look at mindset. There's also another way, I think, and that one intrigues me. Just because we're always experimenting with this stuff,
Yeah.
I think I've done just about every type of diet there is, from intermittent fasting, the keto, to
The only
South
meat
Beach, to
stuff.
paleo. Yeah, I did that for a couple weeks. It just got expensive.
Yeah.
The carnivore diet, that was fun for a little bit. I've tried vegetarian and I can't do it. But anyway, a different way to sort of look at it is this, and it's sort of in the same vein, I think, which is like, I'm going to do this no matter what, right? And maybe it's the same vein. But like, for example, let's say you're going to commit to working out every day, right? But for unforeseen circumstances, you can't come to the gym, right?
Yeah.
So, I think for some it would be like, well, I can't go to the gym, so I'll just go tomorrow, right? But
Sadly.
you don't need to go to the gym,
No.
right?
Also-
It's like finding a way, like, or if it's like, oh well, today's deadlifts. I can't do today's workout. Well, you can lift some heavy shit at your house. You know what I mean? I'm sure you have something in your backyard you can pick up.
Yeah, or
You know
you
what I
can come in and we're also, we change workouts for everyone.
Oh yeah, well there's that too. Yeah, we won't talk about that. But or you just do your own shit, whatever.
Yeah.
But
I'll say, I want to say this. It's not like, I'm not trying to say that we're scamming people, but fitness,
oh yeah,
having a
you
gym
don't
is,
need a gym.
yeah, you don't need a gym. The nice thing about a gym is having people around you that can kind of help and guide
Yeah.
you and
Or just the
you-
equipment that you don't have.
yeah, equipment that you don't have, or you don't want to try to think of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's just right.
Yep.
Get it. But, all the workouts are on there. Most days we have a version that you don't need anything.
Right.
Level 1 is usually no
Use
equipment
your body weight. Yeah.
or very minimal stuff that most people have at their home, like a dumbbell or a kettlebell.
Or a small dog.
But yeah, it's more of getting the mindset of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I've never understood it, like I said, because
And that's my point. When I first started really seriously working out, I wasn't a member of a gym.
yeah,
I bought a sandbag, and I was like, I'm just gonna carry the sandbag. I'm just gonna I looked some shit up on the internet and I was like, what are cleans? I don't know, but I could do it with a sandbag, and I did that. You know what I mean? Or like, I remember at one point, my yard, I have these big rocks. Me and my buddy, we were just lifting rocks,
Yeah.
I'm sure, you'd be like, you just lifted rocks in your backyard, you're a weirdo. But like, I didn't give a shit. I was like, I just want to do this,
When I was 17, 18, my brother introduced me to CrossFit. I would go to the Y sometimes because we had a Y membership, but probably half the time I would go out. It's like one block over was a soccer field at a school, and I would go there and I would do Griff, which is like the 800 meters
I remember,
forward,
yeah,
400 meters
yeah.
backwards. But I would do I would do jumping pull-ups on the soccer goal. I mean, and that's
Whatever, yeah.
most of the week. And then right before I moved out here, I did work at a gym in town. But again, it was like 20 minutes away, and a lot of times I just didn't want to go. So I would, at that time, I had a kettlebell and a slam ball. And I would just go out to that soccer field again and just do a workout there.
Yeah.
You know? And when times before too, when I didn't have equipment, I'd go run for 10 minutes and I'd stop, do 25 push-ups, and I would just do stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to, again, it's more of, do you want, you know, the success of fitness and health?
You want to do what you said you do.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's more of, letting basically your you know, it's more of your, like, not desires or instincts, but that craving that you might have for laziness or food and shit to control you, or do you want to control, you know, your own body and your own mind and that kind of stuff? And I think that's more of the benefits of fitness. Yes, the health thing and staying alive and blah blah blah, but when you really start to dedicate yourself to it, then it's more of your mind gets stronger, as in the fact that, like, I'm not going to let other things get in my way. This is my time, this is my life. I think so many people use random crap in their lives as excuses and ways out of doing things. You know, like, you know, there's the casual one where someone asks you to go over and you're like, oh no, my dog said, you know, you can make up stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, or like, I got to take care of laundry or something,
or whatever.
You know, because you don't want to hang out with someone. But when it comes to health, do you know how many times people have said, like, oh, well, I bought a new car, I can't, like, join a gym. It's like, what do you need a $20,000 car for?
Yeah. Or $70,000 car. Yeah.
Especially too, if you're not working out and you're overweight, there's a good chance that you're going to die before you even pay the thing off.
It's a good idea. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's, you know, like, you got to start changing your mindset of, like, like, luxury things and wants and needs and sugar and alcohol and stuff can't control what you're going to do, which is not easy. I'm not saying, like, oh yeah, just
no, it's not easy.
Done.
And we're not sitting in a glass house here. I mean, like, we struggle with this too.
Yeah, everyone struggles with it. You know, for me, I like to drink beer and play video games, you know, and it's hard to get away from, but, you know, at a certain point, you start seeing, again, it's just more of getting your mind even stronger and stronger and getting out that mindset of, all right, I'm not 20 years old anymore, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And honestly, I get more enjoyment and love, and honestly, I feel stronger and smarter, and that I'm working harder and more confident when I'm in here doing stuff and pushing myself and setting more difficult goals. And honestly, you know, I don't know, like, when we're younger, I want to relax more. Now I don't. I want to work all the time, and that's come with just setting small goals over time of trying to get more work done and doing more things and things like that.
I sit back and I think about, like, you know, just sorry, I can't talk. Just this gym, moving from our other location to this location, be where we are. I mean, that didn't happen overnight. I mean, that was like piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece by piece, you know? And, like, sometimes you sit back and you're like, how the hell did we do all that? You know?
Yeah.
Like, all the little programs and things that got created and just put out into the world, you know, that started with, like, you know, it'd be cool if we did this. And then you just start doing it and you're like, shit, we did that. You know? Now it's a thing. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about the progress you can make if you just slowly start working on stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be this immediate rush all at once kind of
But
mentality.
the key is not fucking stopping.
Yeah.
You know? And then we see so many people that they just stop.
I think it's right to stop if you've done this. Say you're doing, whether it's an exercise program or whatever it is in your life that you're doing, say you're going 6 months, 8 months, and you put a lot of effort into it, and say the best effort that you could put in at that time, and you're not seeing anything from it, you can change and do something else.
Of course.
You know, at any time. Same thing with diet, whatever. If you try to diet, it's not working for you, you don't feel like it's that beneficial. Again, everyone's different.
You alter it.
Yeah, just alter.
But you don't stop doing it.
Yeah.
You just change the way you're doing it. I think people get that whole, like, never quit, never give up mixed up. They hear that and it sounds inspirational. They're like, never give up. But then you try something, like you're saying, for a while, and it's like, shit isn't working.
Yeah.
But then they're like, well, I gave up on that and I failed. Well, if you give up entirely,
Then yeah, you failed.
but if you just change it a little bit, but you still keep going, that's not giving up. That's not being technical. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But I think so many people just they won't alter it. They're just like done.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like, it's like when we give the nutrition challenge stuff and they start doing it right and they lost some weight initially and then they're not losing any more weight.
Right.
They're like, well then I'm just done with it.
Done. I did
No, it's
this.
like,
Yeah.
okay, well we tried that.
No,
Why don't we like change how many calories you have with that? Or let's change to something else. Let's try paleo, let's
Yeah.
try whatever.
Right.
Or, you know, there's tons of different options and things out there. You just got to find something that works for you. And that's like,
And it
the
won't
main
work
thing.
forever. Nothing ever does because you level up. You know, like,
But I mean, there are people that do get to a place of satisfaction.
oh yeah, sure.
You know, you get
Right.
to a place where you're happy with where you're at on your diet and stuff, and then that's good. And that's
Well,
kind of
yeah.
the ultimate goal.
Right, and you maintain.
It's never impossible to find something.
Right.
I think is, but yeah, and then it might be okay. Well, the diet worked really well for me, but I still want to lose more. Okay, let's
that.
do more strength. Let's do more cardio. Let's
Yep.
add something else to your workout. You're working out 3 days a week. That's not enough. You need to be doing 5 or 6. You know.
I don't think, but I don't think a human being can genuinely be content at like a static place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you will. Like, let's say you diet for a while and you're like, that's where I wanted to be weight wise. I look great. And like, you're like, I wanted to make this much money. I made that much money. Cool. I don't think you'll be happy if you just stay at that level forever. There's something inside you that always wants to just like go a little bit more.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean?
especially if it's something you love.
Yeah, just find something you like. Boop.
The good thing with fitness is you can always get better at something in
Yeah, no
fitness.
shit. Yeah.
So that's easy. I think diet's a more difficult one, because you honestly that one you have to find something that will work for you and that you can kind of just be okay with.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the beautiful thing about fitness is you're never going to not be able to get better at something, even
never
if you're
done.
60, 70 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, my second boss ever was 64 and he was doing ring muscle ups.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I might be 64 by the time I get my first ring muscle.
You know what his crazy diet was? I hung out with him a lot and he would just drink muscle milk. That was it.
It's crazy.
He barely ate food.
It's so gross.
Yeah. But he was like one of those guys that are wired that like sleeps like an hour a night.
Right.
Like
Another time.
just
It's weird.
fucking out there. Like, yeah. But that's the thing is, if you're someone that's watching this like, I'll never be able to do it. Everyone can. If you put in the time, if that's something that you really want to do,
You can get there.
everyone can absolutely get there.
I believe that.
I mean, it's more technique than it is strength. If you can do a kipping pull-up, you can do a muscle-up. It's just technique. But again, it's putting in dedication,
work.
putting in work, and be willing to ask. I think one of the best parts about what Brooke did was she messaged me on Facebook and said,
Yeah,
hey,
she just said, I want to do these things.
I want to work on these things. And I'm like, cool, I'll be there 10 minutes early. We'll go over whatever we want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I show her. As she improves, then we change it up, make it more difficult, and then keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that simple. So you gotta want it. You can't. You gotta not kind of want it. A lot of people just
You gotta
kind of
want
want things.
Yeah.
You can't kind of want something.
You got to want it. Like, this is going to happen.
Yeah, honestly, it's got to be the same determination that it's got to be about maybe a job that you apply
Yeah.
for or a relationship that you want to start. It has to be that same type of passion in things. And you might be someone that never has that passion.
Right.
And,
It's possible.
and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is if you're not going to have that kind of passion for it, you got to just accept that you got to do exercise just to help lower your risk of dying, and you're not going to see weight loss, and you're not going to see improvement. I mean, that's the other thing. People don't accept reality. They're like, well, I work out here 3 times a week, and I haven't lost any weight.
But
Great.
I eat like crap.
You eat like crap.
Yeah.
When you come in
You
here
don't
and work
sleep.
out, you haven't worked on anything. 3 times a week is really not that much. It's
Right.
just enough, again, to keep you alive. You're not going to see real weight loss. You're probably sitting on your butt the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Again, we're supposed to move all day, every day, and that's not happening.
45 minutes, yeah.
So you have
Not
to start
enough.
accepting reality when it comes to those things. If you had someone come in to do martial arts, and they're like, I'm going to come once every 2 weeks, when can I be a
takes
black belt?
I would be like, probably never.
Yeah, because that's not even
Yeah.
enough time. By the time that they come back in the next time,
Yeah,
they
they forgot everything.
they already forgot everything because they're not working on it.
Starting over continuously every day.
So again, if it's something that you want, you have to put in the work, just like at work or in anything else in a relationship, blah blah blah. So you got to start. I think that's where it's lost. I think where most people lose because they kind of do things.
Yeah.
You're not going to kind of do something and get ripped.
You gotta put your heart into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I mean,
true.
it's that simple. You're not going to, kind of start like a lot of people doing like YouTube and all that kind of stuff. You can't just like post one YouTube video and be like, why don't I have 1 million followers?
You have to do it every day.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
This was
every day.
crazy. Like, I can't remember who the hell it was. It's probably somebody crazy, some crazy weightlifter guy, whatever. But like, they're talking about like even me. I'm not special, but like, I don't necessarily need to sleep a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not the 1 hour guy, but I'm like 5 to 6 hours is plenty of sleep for me.
That would fucking kill me.
Yeah, but I can. I mean, I'm not talking like optimal performance, but I can do that for an extended period of time, like a month.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm cool. So people will see me in here at like 4:30 in the morning. All that shit. I go to work all day. I work out. They'll see me in here at like, 6:30, 7:30. I train at dojo until 10 o'clock. Sometimes. And they're like, how the fuck? Like what? But it's just like, I'm not worried about like. I mean, even if it's the other way, I'm not worried about like, oh God, I gotta get sleep or it's gonna be terrible. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, what if I work really hard, I'm gonna be sore. I don't care. Like, you have to get over like worrying about all that stuff. Like, just, I think it's C.T. Fletcher or whatever. He's the one. You look him up. He's the one that's like, the doctor's like, you have a heart problem. You're gonna die. And he's like, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. And he's still doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had like 4 open heart surgeries, but whatever. But I mean, he's still doing it. I mean, it's just the idea of like, I see that a lot. I see people worrying. I don't understand about what, but it's like, why are you worrying? Like, what are you worried about? What are you scared about? Just do it. Just get up and do it.
Yeah, I think there's so many people.
And keep doing it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. People are scared of failing, or
Yeah.
they're scared of like what people think about them when they're doing stuff. Like,
No one cares.
Like today we had a kid. He's one of the top basketball players in South Carolina, and we're doing this drill where they're supposed to do moves and shoot, and he was going up against someone else who's definitely not on the same level as him. And his biggest struggle is dribbling, but he's a great player. Like I said, he's got top offers at all these places, but he was just doing little pussy in between the legs and shoot, right? And I had to pull him to the side. I'm like, look, man, you gotta not be, this is the place where you're supposed to fuck up. This is the place where you're supposed to fail.
Yeah, that's interesting.
You gotta fail around these people. Yeah, some people, like, we might laugh, but we're all in this shit together.
Yeah.
It's not gonna make you less of a player, but you gotta do it. If you don't do it here, you're not gonna do it on the court. You're not gonna do it in the pros. If you can't do a spin and a shot or something. And again, it's like, people are afraid to try things.
Yeah.
Of looking down.
We're not gonna write you a contract.
Do you know how? Yeah. Do you know how many times
You're paying us.
people have been like scared to try double unders and then they actually try it and they fucking get it? It's like, cool. Yeah. It might hit you and it might hurt. Who gives a shit? It's not gonna kill you.
Yeah, just do it.
You're not gonna die or like have long-term leg issues because a rope hit you in the leg. Just try it.
Yeah.
If you look dumb, cool. That's my job to say, hey, that looked dumb. And I'll do it like this.
Yeah.
And then hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, we all look dumb doing double.
Yeah, everyone looks dumb at everything they do for the first time. I think that's what we forget. Since we were kids until you're like even 50 or 60, you know, you're going to look dumb if it's your first time riding a bike. You're gonna look fucking stupid, whether you're 50 or you're 1 year old, whatever it is, right? But once you do it enough, then you don't look stupid, and then maybe you become fucking BMX rider or some shit.
I'm not saying this to brag, but I feel like I will tell a story. I personally had a pretty good breakthrough. It was about 2 years ago. Honestly, I carried that for a long time. Not the fear of failure. I never really cared about failing, but it was the
fear of humiliation.
Kind of looking, not being humiliated, but not looking professional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because a certain, some of us, maybe not athletically, but in your business or whatever you do, maybe you're pretty fucking good. You know what I mean? And so you're worried about not looking like a professional. So I'm a black belt, and sometimes I'm asked to teach people things. And I remember, this is 2 or 3 years ago, like, teach this form, and I couldn't remember it. And I was like embarrassed. Like I remember leaving that class embarrassed. Like fuck. Like this is not. Why? What am I doing here? You know. And then after a while, you know, it's like I just had this epiphany of like, like it's okay. Like this is where we come to like I'm here learning how to teach.
Yeah.
That's my role right now. That's why I'm put in this role, because I'm learning how to teach. So I needed to learn how to prepare to teach. You know what I mean? And if you're in the class, you're there to learn how to do the thing. No one expects you to do the thing from day one, right? And I had that, kind of had that epiphany, and like, that literally happened. We're recording this on Wednesday. This literally happened Monday night. I was like, they were like, teach this thing. And it was a more advanced form. And like, I got to the middle of it and I was teaching it wrong. Like I was messing up this person learning it. And somebody off to the side was like, come here, you know. And I walked over there and they're like, you need to do that again. That's not quite right. And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, come out here and show me, tell me. You know what I mean? And I was like, I didn't care. I was like, I want, like, it was just a different mindset of like, I just need to learn. Like, I wasn't concerned with everyone in the room being like, oh, that guy doesn't know this. He should know that, you know? Like, he doesn't know that. He sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't care, you know? And I think also, one, you got to get there so you learn and you get better. And now I remember that thing, you know, because that lesson of being in that position and learning it really drilled it home. Two, I feel like I'm a better instructor because of it. But three, I think modeling that behavior in front of everyone else is probably more powerful than the actual things that I got from it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These other people, they go, well, damn, you know, he's second degree black belt. He, you know, he didn't have an ego enough to like have this person come out and show him how to fix it, you know? Mm-hmm. And the person that showed me was lower ranked than me. I don't care.
Yeah.
They know it. They deserve to be able to show me. But everyone seeing that and it being cool, it set the tone in the room. And I literally felt everybody kind of like get a little more chill. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I feel like they learn better, you know, as opposed to the tension being so high. Like no one can make mistakes, you know, right? Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel that way. Like even out here working out and stuff, like if every class was like a competition, you know what I mean? Every class it was like, well, I gotta beat you in this workout. You would be stressed the fuck out.
Yeah, that I was when I was at other CrossFit gyms.
But if we lower that, like if you set the example and the tension is lowered, it's gonna be better. Like you're probably gonna perform better. You know, everyone's gonna be better. Everyone's gonna have more fun. Everyone's gonna learn more. You know.
Yeah.
There's something to that.
I think when you're teaching, yeah, it definitely helps. But it is also nice to have pressure too, because that helps.
Yeah, that's the other side of it.
Elevate your stuff. Having the pressure and having everyone call you out if you do suck. But
there's a time and place for that.
Yeah, there's a time and place for both. But again, if you're practicing something, that is literally the time and place to learn if you aren't doing it right.
Right.
I mean, that's just it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that there's a lot of that nowadays, and there's a lot of people that are up higher that they will, again, if they do something wrong, they'll just, most people have been like, no, that was right. You know what I mean?
Oh, I've had that too.
And then teach everyone wrong.
Yeah.
And then now everyone sucks.
Yeah, and you're like, well, no one's doing this right.
Because of having such a big ego of like, they feel like it's embarrassing or whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, we're all people. We're not going to do everything right every single time and all that kind of stuff. There's no way. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of when you find something that you love, you got to be able to like, that's why I hate to leave your ego out the door, because it's just, it has such a weird...
Yeah, well, that's a CrossFit thing.
Yeah, it's a weird CrossFit
And then
thing.
the guy doesn't have...
Because the ego is more about like, get the fucking weight off the bars, rather than like, sit here and learn from me.
Yeah.
And I mean, we found that there's been people that come into the gym that just really don't respond to like, hey, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah.
And I will say this, it's changed our coaching over the years, because there are times where you gotta let people, if they're not gonna listen to you.
You just don't coach.
You just don't coach.
I can think of 3 or 4 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're like, I'm just not gonna talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah, like I can't, if you're not gonna hear me out when I'm saying something, then you move on. But then again, that's the difference between that person who definitely has no growth and doesn't improve at all over the few years that they were here. There's one very specific that I remember.
There's always one.
They're not here anymore, so don't worry about it. But then the difference is someone like Brooke, who in like 4 weeks is showing huge improvements,
Yep.
PRing and all kinds of crap.
Mhm.
Why? Because she listens and she practices and isn't afraid to ask questions and isn't afraid to do it wrong. Right? We just keep doing it wrong until we do it right.
That's right. That's how it works.
I know that's probably a long rant of a bunch of different stuff, but I think honestly, like, what it comes down to, if you're not in love with fitness or you don't have like a really big want for it, I think people have to stop striving to, lose 30, 40 pounds and look ripped, because
it's not gonna happen.
it's never gonna happen if you don't have that passion, because you're not gonna all of a sudden 2 years after losing 60 pounds find a passion for it then and be like, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
It's like eventually it'll fall off. You might be able to do it for a month or two.
Right.
So you got to find that passion. And that's another thing, whether you're a member of a gym or not, whatever. That's why I think it's best to find something that interests you when you're working out. That's why I love that we're doing kickboxing, self-defense. We got our regular classes and stuff like that. But find something that you enjoy, whether it's, I like lifting, or, maybe it's a different kind of gym. That's okay. You got to find something that gets you like, ooh, I'm excited to be there. I really want to do this, to the point that you're willing to put other things in your life aside and like, let this be a hobby, and let this be, there's video games or art and
whatever
blah, blah, blah. Whatever you're this has to kind of start to be a hobby, a passion, something that you want to do and something that you want to work on. Something where you might go and look up a YouTube video because you want to try to learn something.
Yeah.
And
that's when you're drinking that Kool-Aid.
But it's not drinking Kool-Aid, it's more of like...
It's a really messed up analogy too, by the way. We'll get into it.
Well, yeah, that's
kind of a sad story.
CrossFit thing. But that's when there's people like, CrossFit's not actually working out, and everyone's like, and then we're like, but it's like everything. It's all the workouts just together. And they're like, but that's not fitness.
Wait, what?
I don't know. That shit. But yeah, you gotta again find a passion, and if you don't, just honestly just gotta be realistic with yourself. And I think that's the first step to like getting a tough mindset. If you know you're not gonna fucking do the shit, then cool, just do this for your health. Get a few days in so you're not gonna die soon. Cool. Everyone else that's like, I do have a passion for this. All right, well then all those other things that we talked about, that's what you need to start doing to kind of get to that next step. So.
Just do it. Wait, we can get sued for that.
Nike's not gonna watch our shit. I don't know if anyone's watching our shit.
We'll see. If you're watching this right now, let me know. That'll be set up for. All right. That's it. See ya.